Hello and welcome to People Not Politics. I'm your host, Rusty Pierce. Today we have with us Stan Blitz, author, producer, and small business owner. We also have with us, of course, Gina Montoya Ortega. She's a candidate for Las Cruces mayor. How are you today, Gina?
Good, thanks. How are you, Rusty? How are you, Stan?
Terrific.
Good.
Awesome. Just give us the quick rundown, a little bit of who you are and why you're running for mayor, and then we'll jump right into activities with senior needs.
Hi, so my name is Gina Montoya Ortega, co-owner of La Fiesta Bakery. Mi nombre es Gina Eugenia Montoya Ortega. Estoy corriendo por alcaldesa de la ciudad de Las Cruces y soy dueña de La Fiesta Bakery.
All right, so Stan, you're here today to talk to us a little bit about senior needs, so why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, there's definitely a need around here for a little building for people 50 and up for activities. They have something in Albuquerque, and I don't want to badmouth the people, but they don't do any research here. There's so many people who want to go out and go dancing. There should be a special events place for that. In Albuquerque, they have a building called the Solo Club. People go there, and it's open 7 days a week. And people meet there, 1,500 members. People would love that. If you go, there's very limited places for anybody to go who's over 30 years old. It's a college town or retirement. And retirement people like to go out and go dancing and have a good time. And this should be researched. I know you would do that once you're elected the mayor of Las Cruces, because there's a market. There's a huge market at the assisted living homes. There's activities people would like to do, and go to a building where there's activities. You have a little comedy. You have a little piano player. Things that entertain people. People like to go out and have a good time.
All right, and so do you know how they pay for that in Albuquerque?
There's a membership fee.
Okay. Is that something that
it's a reasonable
support?
Membership.
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, we have been discussing that there are not very many things for families to do. So families in general could be families that have four-legged, furry little children. It could be families that actually have young children, or it could be families that have parents or grandparents or somebody that's here. So definitely, we need to be family friendly, and that includes every family member.
Well, there's another point I want to make. I'm amazed. I've lived here for 10 years, and if you wish to go to a zoo, there's no zoo in this town. You have to go to Alamogordo or to El Paso. There's a lot of young families here. They would love to have a zoo here. It's never been discussed with anybody, but I think that's an excellent idea for young families and whatever, to have a zoo.
Yes, and being that Las Cruces, I mean, we have 3 senior centers. We have the Munson Center, we have the Eastside Community Center, we have the Benavides Center. So why as a city are we not utilizing those buildings that we already have, that seniors can utilize them for dances, for comedy shows, whatever it may be that our seniors in our community would like. And and a way to fund this would actually be, we have our Telshore Fund. Our Telshore Fund has $44 million. That is for humanitarian needs, health reasons, why couldn't we use this for our seniors? I think if we make our seniors happy, they're going to be a lot healthier.
The key word, Gina, that I would use that I've not seen here in 10 years, they don't research anything. Everything's done off the cuff.
Definitely.
If you go to other cities, Clovis is far more progressive than Las Cruces. I've been through the whole state. Farmington, it's viable downtown. These people should really research what other cities are doing and learn from it.
Yes.
Like the Flickinger Theater in Alamogordo. I'm not promoting it or anything, I'm just saying. It's double the size of the Rio Grande Theater. See what they're doing and whatever. Utilize these places. Don't just sit there and go to a meeting once a week and discuss GRP taxes or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Definitely, and we obviously have seniors that have visited places that could come and share this information. So the knowledge is already here, the talent is already here that could help share how these programs work, or how we can ensure that these programs are successful. So definitely.
And who can we use for that research? I know a lot of times we go out to Houston, we go out to Texas when we do research and we do planning and stuff like that. Can we use our local groups? Do you propose that we use our local groups?
Definitely. Like, for example, I think Stan would make an excellent person to help with this, because he has been to places We could even utilize, I mean, for statistic purposes, even our university. We have a very knowledgeable university, that have students from all sorts of different ranges of age groups. So this would also be a group that we could utilize to help do the statistical work. But I think the people who know best are the people that actually know what they need or what they want.
We have to have growth. That's what I see here. We can't stay stagnant because we want to entice people to come downtown. It should be vibrant. Parking, I know they finally got, I think, 6 years it took to get money from Santa Fe for parking garage. This should have been discussed 6 years ago.
Yeah, but like everything else, we talk
They
about
procrastinate everything.
Yes, definitely.
And if Walmart moves into town, the first thing that they do, they look at the parking. And you have to be people-oriented like you're running. That's why I'm endorsing Gina, because she's strictly for the people and get the feedback what people want.
So definitely, so how Stan just even mentioned that, Las Cruces is stagnant. This is one of the things, I've gone to city council's meetings for many, many years, and that's exactly, one of the reasons I'm running is because Las Cruces is stagnant. We are a stagnant community.
You have to have progressive people who really are community-oriented. And I want to see the place grow, and Gina is the best of all the candidates because she's progressive, she grew up here, and she knows the area. They're hiring people here that don't have any knowledge of the demographics of Las Cruces. Big problem. You have to have, there's a lot of local talent here that would love to be involved with these things. You don't go to Texas or Houston. They're used to big cities. They put it on their resume that they worked in Las Cruces. That's not the way you should do things. You have a lot of homegrown. Give people the opportunity locally.
Definitely.
So what would you say to those people who say a new downtown, the new businesses that are downtown, the bars? What would you say to people that say that's not stagnation? What would you say to those people?
Well, that's obviously not true, because we have more than that community that needs attention. We have more people. We need, senior people programs. We need young people programs. So this is actually, if you stop to look at the downtown, we're focusing on basically one group of people, usually a younger generation that enjoys to go and have drinks. Whereas what about the people that would like some kind of
diversify
entertainment? Yes, without the drinking. So.
Right, and also not just in age or in amount of businesses, but in area as well. We shouldn't all be focused on downtown. That we should be focused on every part of the town. Everybody pays their taxes. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, everything cannot focus on downtown. We've been going to several meetings, and there's people that actually come and they're like, how come in my area I don't have a coffee shop or a little local little place that I can go listen to music, or everything is focused on downtown.
That's exactly right.
So what are some of the other stagnant? Is it facilities that we have? What's some of the other stagnation within the city that we can improve on?
Definitely facilities. So even like we were talking about for children, I grew up here in Las Cruces. I played basketball at Mearshite. I was 10 years old when I played there. Here it is 41 years later, and we have still one public gym. So definitely, why don't we have like a YWCA, a YMCA? These are programs or facilities that actually appeal to all groups of people, whether you're 2 years old or 92 years old.
Okay, and how can we fund those?
So actually, to try to get a YWCA, those are actually programs that they pay for themselves. But why don't we utilize our public schools more? Why don't we utilize our city buildings, our Munson Center, our Eastside Community Center, working with the state to actually open up those public schools? We are, as taxpayers, that we're paying for those buildings. Why aren't we using those as local community areas for children in that certain area to come and play games or play basketball?
There's another thing I would suggest is getting sponsorship from the assisted living places. They're all owned by big corporations. Like a friend of mine has a big job with Genesis.
Okay.
And Genesis owns so many different properties around. Going into them and having more activities for the people who live there at North Rise or any of the other assisted living, or Casa de Oro, bringing the people out.
See, and that would actually, that sounds like an excellent plan, because so for example, we do use Genesis. They have a facility over on Roadrunner, on the north side of Roadrunner. Whereas if we actually work with Solstice, now we have something on the south side of Roadrunner. Whereas we use actually the different centers. Now this is actually attract attention to different parts of Las Cruces, not in one area. So that's definitely a great idea. working as a team with these other facilities. You know, and at the same time, they have their seniors there that could also benefit from the programs, as well as, you know, you're going to have that many more ideas because you have that many different more facilities.
Another idea I would throw out to you is the Rio Grande Theater. It's not utilized right.
Yes.
That is the crown jewel of this town.
So as like a producer and author, and you also promote entertainment, is that correct? So like
Yeah,
what?
I do. My primary thing, I used to do a lot of comedy, but my primary thing right now is my associate, he isn't even recognized in the state of New Mexico. He had the only #1 hit ever in the state of New Mexico was My Friend. And he's not recognized. You know, give somebody recognition. He was the last American group to have a #1 hit before the Beatles. People like to know these things. We did a show at the convention center, and I was the moderator. It was sold out. Peggy Sue came in from Lubbock. That people loved it. People love nostalgia, different things, but it's not promoted right at this point.
So
Would
yeah.
I want to do it? I don't know. That's something we would discuss when you're elected mayor. Right now, I got my hands full.
So what could we utilize the Rio Grande Theater for? What more, that, you know, it's not used right now, as we just said, properly. So we talk about getting production, getting producers out there, inviting people. What else can we do besides theater with that?
So I would think that I would ask Stan that question, because obviously he's more of a professional in this field. He's actually seen a lot more, being that he's traveled the United States quite a bit. So Stan, what are different things that we could use at Rio Grande Theater?
Stand-up comedy for the kids. Every kid wants to be a comic or a dancer. And they bring their families in, their friends, having stand-up night. They used to do that in Albuquerque every Tuesday night. Everybody's a comic. I used to watch 34 comics on a Tuesday night. Everybody wanted me to be their manager. Everybody thinks they can get up on stage and be a comic. Comics are the sharpest people in the entertainment business.
I would think you would have to be, especially when you say something and nobody's laughing. You better come up with something really good to
You
redeem
better have good
yourself.
material.
Yes.
That's right.
What other kinds of programs?
Especially for perhaps senior needs.
Absolutely. Have a piano player come in, play music from the era, like they have the Time Life on television, play songs like Beatles songs and songs like that. People love that. Make it really friendly for people of that age group, that they look forward to this.
Well,
And you can get so many sponsors for it. The key thing which I see around here, which I know you're going to do, is promotion. They don't promote anything properly. It's an art to that, and that's something I enjoy doing because I know what's going to work and what's not going to work. Even a memorabilia show. People love memorabilia. Things thinking out of the box. You got to get different ideas, not do the same thing and, we'll talk about it next week, and they never get back to you. Don't procrastinate it.
Yes.
All right, so we've got the Rio Grande Theater, we have the Solo Club. What are some of the other senior activities that we could add to the Rio Grande Theater, perhaps? And just, you know, the last minute we have before we take a break.
Tours of local businesses. A friend of mine's family owns the Silver Asset. I don't want to promote that. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, that's
just
fine.
go into a place like that and see what they do. People will be delighted. Promote local businesses, because don't bring somebody in from Timbuktu and promote them. We want local. This is a community-oriented thing we want to do.
Definitely. So even like us with the bakery, when my husband used to work for a big chain, they would have kids that would come through and tour, and they were so excited to see how they made the bread.
To see a bakery.
And then for at the end that they got a cookie. And we did a couple of those now in our bakery, not very many, because unfortunately the schools, on their funding, it's like, we don't have the money to allow this field trip.
When I first moved to New Mexico, I went to Deming. I wanted to see how they made cookies, diabetic cookies. I had a tour of the plant. They were delighted to see it.
Yes.
Joseph's Light Cookies in Deming.
Yes, we've definitely heard of them. So.
And then I also went up to Santa Fe, how they make tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
How it was automated. You press a button, and this one button does. No human hands touch anything. Things like that. You got to be creative. That's how I feel, and I know you're going to do that.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll talk more about senior needs and facilities here in Las Cruces.
There you go.
So great, you do all these different gears in the clan.
Okay.
Nice.
Other guys, not all.
Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180.
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here.
Make yourself a beautiful home.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Hello, welcome back to People Not Politics. I'm your host, Rusty Pierce, and today we have with us Stan Blitz. We're talking today about senior needs and other facilities here in Las Cruces. We're talking about promoting businesses for the second half of this episode, and I'm going to turn it over to Stan, who's got some great ideas.
I also think, Gina, we should be promoting and enticing new businesses to move here, because it's a very important thing to have businesses come here. I was listening to a meeting with the city council, and one of the employees from a nameless company downtown, they would go to lunch, they couldn't even park their car. I mean, it's just, you have to listen to people. You can't just say, this is the way it is. People have good input, and that's what people should do. New businesses should be coming here. Whole Foods, I know they have a certain quota of population, but they have them in Santa Fe. Santa Fe is far less population than Las Cruces. Same thing with Trader Joe's. I know Toucan Market is the place where people go, but they don't want Trader Joe's probably and Whole Foods because it's competition. But it's good when you have competition. McDonald's opens up, Wendy's opens up. That's what it should be.
Yeah, so even like us as small business owners, when people would come and say, oh, there's a bakery that opened up around the corner, and, what do you feel about that? Well, you know what? Competition is good. It's healthy.
It is.
As a business owner, it makes you step up your game. You have to sell your A game or play your A game in order to appeal to your clientele or your customers. And then that way the customer actually has more choices. So definitely being more business friendly.
And it also should have something with tourism. This should not be an overnight town. You should have additional attractions here. There should be like a Billy the Kid museum, something that people really, like I know in Clovis, they have the studio where Buddy Holly is as popular dead than Elvis Presley. People don't realize that. 60 years he was killed in an airplane crash. But they come from all over the world for a tour of the Buddy Holly where he recorded in Clovis. Billy the Kid, because this is his territory. Make tourist attractions to entice tourism here, and all the hotels would benefit from it. It'll be a wonderful thing. There's things that have been neglected.
Definitely.
And that's another thing. And seeing the type of businesses, like there's retail, there's more space for different retailers to come here also.
Yes. Especially that there's a lot of people now that are actually shopping online. So I mean, if there's a retail shop that wants to come to Las Cruces, why wouldn't we give them that opportunity?
And entice restaurants more diversified or whatever, because the restaurants here, unless they're old line Mexican restaurants, they're all chains.
Definitely.
That's the only ones that can make, because the cost to operate a restaurant with the employees and buying the food, it's just very difficult to survive as a small business.
So we talked about parking being some of the reasons why, we're not business friendly. What are some of the other reasons that you see this city as not being business friendly?
The regulations. So it is difficult when you do try to open a business here in Las Cruces. It was something that we encountered. And now we just figured out that we're supposedly 3 inspectors short. So when I become the mayor of Las Cruces, I'm going to ensure that we fill those positions so that we don't have to be depending on a shortage of inspectors to go inspect these buildings. When you open a business, you need those inspectors to get in there, inspect you, of course, make sure that you are safe, you're a safe business, following all the regulations, and help them get open.
Another problem I see is the lights. Some of these lights you have to wait 5 minutes. And I was a commissioner back east in transit. Somebody, you can just have a switch, and it can do in 30 seconds to a minute. They say, well, we can't do that. They won't do it. They can do it.
Definitely. So we always hear what we can't do, but we don't hear what we can do.
Nothing's impossible.
I agree.
If you want to do it, you do it.
Yes. And see, and that was one of the things that we encountered even with the Valley Drive, what I call destruction. It wasn't construction. We kept saying adjust the lights. Well, these are the old-fashioned lights. Supposedly now it's a light. When you actually sit at it, it actually senses that there's cars. If not, then it changes faster. Well, we couldn't have that happen because the lights that they had put in temporarily were the lights that didn't sense the traffic. So you would have literally sit at an intersection for almost 15 minutes because each cycle was 5 minutes.
Las Cruces is a wonderful place to live, but we need positive direction and be progressive.
Definitely.
Because I mean, I've been to Carlsbad. Carlsbad is a tourist attraction. You go there, it's wonderful. And we have to be like, boy, I want to go to Las Cruces. We can go to Mesilla, we can go to Billy the Kid Museum, something that entices people to come here, a tourist destination.
We can't get businesses to come here if we're not friendly. So you mentioned some regulations, that we have. What about landscaping and some of the other ones? What are these regulations? What are more of the regulations that are stopping businesses from coming here? Is it also perhaps the cost of electricity? What is it that's stopping? What are more things?
So definitely our electric rates are ridiculous. They're outrageous. So that does keep some businesses from wanting to come to Las Cruces, especially if your business requires, it's a bigger building.
It's a tremendous enticement. It's so much. Let's say somebody's coming here from San Francisco. If you want to get a 3-bedroom mobile home in San Francisco, it's $900,000. You have an enticement to come here with the cost of living, the better quality of life. The whole thing. And these things have to be promoted.
So it's just definitely coordinating everything.
Yes.
So like as Stan says, that it is cheaper to live in Las Cruces, and that's why a lot of people are coming to Las Cruces. But yet everything's not in sync. We're not all on the same page.
You got to listen.
Definitely.
People have to. I remember when I first moved to the Southwest 27 years ago, I met this man, and he was telling me he did this in Boston. So I looked him right in the face. This is not Boston. You're going to do it the way it's done here. Like when you're in Albuquerque, you're going to do it the way Albuquerque is. Or in Las Cruces, the way you do it here. You have to acclimate yourself to it. It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah, so definitely, so we have the way of Las Cruces. We all know that Las Cruces or New Mexico is the land of mañana. Everything will happen tomorrow. So better coordination and listening to people, definitely we can make this city the best city that we can possibly have.
Also, one other thing. Running the city government, which I know you'll do, as a business, not tabling it next week we'll get back with you or next year, running it as an actual business. That's what it is.
Definitely, city government is a business.
Right.
It's just a bigger business than the one that we currently operate at our bakery, but it's business. Business is business, right? Is that not the saying that they say business is business?
Absolutely.
And will you spend your full time at La Fiesta Bakery, or will you spend it in the mayor's office?
No,
full-time mayor.
Definitely full-time mayor. you know, I went to a city council meeting the other day, and it was very kind of odd that someone should have known that, you know, why do police officers take their cars home? I think that's something that somebody in charge should know. As mayor, I would like to know. You know, I was out putting signs, and I went to a retired city worker's home, and I was putting a sign across the street, and he came out and he's like, "You put that sign out?" And I said, "Yes." I said, and I would actually want to be the mayor that I would like to ride along with the gas workers, the water people. I would like to see what it entails.
And you would have meetings with the police chief, too.
Yes.
Chief Gallagher's a wonderful man.
Yes.
You keep in touch with everything that goes on. You know, you have your pulse on it.
Yes.
Okay, so what are some of the other things that we can do to promote business? We've talked a lot about bringing people here, bringing facilities, bringing entertainment. What else can we do to entice those people without having to give them necessarily tax breaks?
Yeah, so definitely like what we had thought about is, you know, we originally were talking about it would be nice to see Las Cruces have an electric co-op where our electricity rates were, I mean, for people. It's not a profit company, an electric co-op. So this is something that we're looking at. But if that can't be the case, then maybe working with El Paso Electric and saying, hey, you know, we'd also had a suggestion from a very knowledgeable person that talked about possibly putting the lines underground. Nobody had probably really heard of that concept, but obviously it's something that will actually benefit the residents of the city.
So we will be talking about that in one of our future episodes about how to make electricity cheaper in Las Cruces. The best way that we can see to do that is force with legislation that electricity lines, even new ones and then ones that are being repaired, get placed underground. That way, for example, if we can make exceptions, if you want to place your electricity above ground, then you have to do it at a certain kilowatt hour so that we make sure that it's cheaper. But that'll be in some of the future episodes. Today we talked about senior needs and senior activities with Stan Blitz, producer, owner of a business and author as well, and Gina Montoya Ortega, candidate for mayor of Las Cruces. Early voting has started, and we expect that you get out there and vote for Gina as your #1 choice. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
I'm Gina Ortega, and I approve this message. Vivian Fritz, Treasurer.